Welcome to the August 16th, 2018 Happy Tales Naturals podcast. I am your host, JT. This is our very first podcast. It's something I plan on doing regularly because due to popular demand by people, customers, and friends, I think this is something that could really help our pet parents out there out. And recently I've been having a lot of customers. Pretty much every day I have a lot of customers asking me about the recent FDA news publication, how certain types of grain-frees are possibly linked to dogs having heart problems. And like any good pet parent, we want the best for our pets, and I can understand why everyone is freaking out about it. But here's what I like to do. I like to calm you down a little bit. I like to tell you what to look for. A lot of people, when they see a headline like that, the first thing they see is, this food's going to cause my dog heart problems. It's possible, but it's also likely that your grain-free dog food is already high quality. And if you read the headlines, a lot of them will say certain grain-frees, and that's key because not all grain-frees are equal. Many people assume that grain-free dog foods or cat foods are better for their pets. However, the problem with that way of thinking is that not all grain-frees are created equally. You have a few companies out there that create high-quality grain-frees. Those companies use all natural ingredients. They cook their foods differently, they source their ingredients differently, and they really do have your pet's health in mind and not their pocketbook. Sadly, too many companies out there are just about lining their pockets. Even on their bags, they do mislead you with their marketing, and some grain-frees are just no better than the lower quality foods because some of them are made by those same companies. And if you take a look, the FDA came out and basically what they're trying to tell you is that veterinary cardiac specialists are finding dogs with life-threatening heart disease who are low in taurine. Now, taurine is the key. A lot of these low-quality grain-frees don't add taurine into their foods, and that is a huge mistake. Decades ago, a lot of cats were going blind, having heart problems. The same situation came up long before the internet was big and the pet food industry was as big as it is now. Some companies realized that dogs are not processing enough taurine. And what taurine is a very powerful amino acid that dogs and cats and humans, in fact, need. Some people actually take taurine supplements. Taurine does not build proteins. It's found in the brain, heart, and muscle, the cardiovascular system. That's why it is so important. Taurine has neurologic development, including support of the central nervous system and eyes. It has antioxidant properties, regulating the immune system, formulating bile, salts. I mean, you can go on and on and on. The problem is that many dogs will experience some of these deficiencies because some of those foods do not have it. So my advice is to not freak out, is to simply take a look at your bag, look at the ingredients, see if you have the word taurine in it. If it does not, then you have a few options you can do. Number one, you could buy taurine supplements. If you go that route, I would talk to your vet about it because every dog is different, just like humans. What works for one dog might not work for the other, even if they're the same breed. You do want to talk to your vet about adding taurine if your food does not have taurine in it. Taurine can be found at some places. Some pet stores carry it, some pet stores do not. Your best option is to find it online, but before you do buy it online, you do want to research the company you're buying it from. Just like everything else in life, you have legit companies and you have bogus companies. You want to make sure you're getting the proper product. The other thing you can do is start switching your dog to a higher quality grain-free that has taurine already in it. My dogs currently use one that has taurine in it. It's a very high quality food. There are a few companies out there that do it. Many do not. So you will be a little discouraged when you're walking through a store checking ingredients. Do not rely on the worker at the store. You are your own pet's advocate. Do your own research, read the ingredients, and find a food that has taurine in it. If your dog is already experiencing some of these symptoms, you definitely might have a taurine deficiency. You need to get that dog into a vet and talk to them about your food and what you feed, that you're worried about the taurine level, and hopefully they can get your dog back on track, or cat. But when companies and the FDA and many news publications run with stories, their headlines are very crazy. Some I've read say grain-frees kill dogs. That is absolutely not 100% true. Not all grain-frees, as I said earlier, are the same. Some are high-quality products that have everything your dog needs. Some are not. But the study is still not 100% complete. We don't know the true effects of long-term feedings of grain-free foods, is what some companies, and they will tell you. Now that is a lie, because going back to the 1970s, as I said earlier, decades ago, cats were dying of certain types of heart disease, dilated cardiomyopathy, and they were going blind. The cause was traced to lack of taurine in their diet, because cats cannot synthesize taurine themselves. Dogs can, and humans can. So it's less of a problem in our dogs. But for someone to come out and say this needs more research and long-term study, they are lying to you as a company. They are just throwing words at you to calm you down and continue to keep you on their product. But the truth is in the history. Many cat foods back then started adding taurine, and cats started living longer, having less health issues because of it. Higher quality foods have come out in the last 10 to 20 years. Just like for humans, you eat healthy, chances are you're going to avoid the vet, you're going to avoid the doctor, you're going to live longer, healthier quality of life, so will your pet. So you definitely want to pay attention to what people say, because there are going to be people out there who are telling you straight up the truth because they have the best interest of your pet in mind, and then there's going to be people and companies out there that lie to you. Sources of taurine: cooked beef, raw beef liver, cooked lamb, cooked chicken, raw fish. Higher quality grain-free foods already use these types of ingredients in there. They will also have a lot of taurine supplemented into your dog food, so you want to look for it, as I said earlier. So it is okay to see this study and these news reports and be concerned, but don't rely on anyone else but yourself to do what's needed for your pet, because most companies, as I said earlier, have their pocketbooks in mind. The only way that they're going to change is if they start losing money. And by fact is, if their food doesn't have taurine in it, yes, it could potentially lead to a taurine deficiency in your pet. If you bought another food and that company started losing money, chances are they would change. And sadly, that is the way this industry works. It's not as what is healthy for your pet. There are a few companies that think that, but majority don't. It's about how much can we feed the dog and cat, how often can you buy the food, and how can we line our pockets. So please take the time to look at your dog food, see if it has taurine in it. If it does and you're still concerned, talk to your vet. If it doesn't, you could also talk to your vet about adding taurine to the diet or possibly switching to foods. In the past, dogs like golden retrievers, Doberman pinschers, boxers, bigger dogs tend to have had this problem more in the past, but recently it is happening more and more to smaller dogs because of the taurine deficiencies. So with that, please like our Facebook page if you found this interesting and helpful. We will have more information and podcasts coming out for you. You can also send ideas of what you'd like us to talk about to happytailsnaturals@outlook.com. Search for us on Facebook at Happy Tails Naturals and like our page. We're always happy to hear from you, and we hope your pets stay healthy and happy, and have a great day.